Okay, we are back for video number 3. See if we can't pull it up on the iPad. Okay. And we'll wait just a little bit to see who can hop on with us. So after this demonstration, we will be doing our mystery stamping. So hopefully everyone has their supplies ready. And even if you're watching the replay, I hope you'll join in with mystery stamping. It's lots of fun. We haven't done that in a while. Oliver is wound up today. We've got some people hopping back on. And we'll get started in just a minute. If you're back, if you don't mind, if you'll just leave a comment, let me know that you can see and hear us okay. Facebook is acting a little bit wonky. And we'll get started in just a minute. Thank you, Donna. Okay, Donna is back. And I know there's at least one other person here. So we call this CT's December Tradition Stamp Class. And the reason for that is years ago when I started doing classes, I kind of thought that December would be a month that people were super busy and they wouldn't want to do stamp class. But at the time, the people that were in stamp class said, oh no, we want to do stamp class, and wondered how we could use up our scraps. So that's kind of how this started. And we've been doing this, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, I believe. So when I was getting ready for this class today, I was looking for some inspiration on what to share with you, and I found this little card, and it has really had a rough life. It's had a stamp dropped on it. It's pretty beat up. But this was one of the first cards we made with scraps, and we did the paper weaving. And I've kept it all these years because it's just a fun way to use up those little strips, and I just love the look of this. So we're going to be using the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper for our paper weaving on our card today. But before we do that, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about supplies that we're going to be using today, and then also how else you could use this. Now on this card, the strips are woven pretty closely. You can do it a little bit looser. You can do a small area and have that be your focal image and a sentiment elsewhere. There's lots of different things that you could do with this depending on the size of your paper strips. A lot of times we end up with strips of paper that are 12 inches long. And so think about what you could do if you are a scrapbooker, you do memory keeping. You could actually weave those 12-inch long pieces, and that would make an awesome focal area, an area of interest that you could do in a scrapbook layout. I think that would be beautiful. So especially if you were focusing on Christmas, to weave those Christmas pieces, those little strips of paper, and then you could just pop your pictures on, do some journaling. That would be a really easy layout, but that would be a lot of fun too. So we got a couple people with us, Dean.
Yeah, you got Judy's with you and Dawn's with you.
Okay, great. I know we've lost a couple people, and people will go back and watch the replay, and that's okay. So this is the card that we're going to be creating today. If you have your kit, this is the supplies that you have in your packet. And I absolutely love the way that this card turned out and how the Peaceful Place, the strips have the silver in them, and just how pretty this looks. So let's get started with our supplies. And I'll show you that for this sentiment, I used the rectangle stitch dies. Now again, pulling out a lot of different supplies from the annual catalog. This is a die set that I've had, I don't know, 3 years maybe. It's one that I grab very frequently. It's an awesome set because as you can see, it has so many different sizes. So you're able to accommodate lots of different sentiments and focal images. And then I also pulled out Peaceful Moment stamp set to get the thank you. I love the font in this stamp set. And again, this is one from the annual catalog. It's been around for a long time. I think almost 3 years now. So don't forget to pull out those sets that you have in your stash. So we're going to go ahead and get all of our supplies out of the envelope. And again, super simple card, but it's just a technique that we can forget about. I'm going to set my sentiment pieces aside. And then of course we've got our basic gray cardstock that we're going to use for our card base. 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4, so we'll burnish that fold. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that inside panel. Now, of course, if you want to do some stamping on it, that would be great. Now would be the time before you adhere it down. And that's another one of my crafting resolutions. I was telling Dale yesterday, I think I want to start stamping more on the inside of my cards. We'll see. I have lots of stamping resolutions, don't I, Dee?
That's good.
Okay, so we'll set that aside as well. So I'm actually going to, I think, weave my strips here on my piece of white. And I'm just going to go through and find the strips that I want. Now you've got the trees. I don't want my trees upside down. Just kind of get one of each. And it's up to you. I'm going to do 4 up and down, and you could do 3 or 4 sideways. So if you do these sideways, your trees will be sideways. If that bothers you, then just use 3. And you guys know how to weave, I'm sure. I may just use 3. So what I like to do, I'm going to use the skinnier strips, I think, on the outside. I'm going to pull this one through to the inside, and I'm just going to pick up every other strip. And again, you can make it as tight as you want to, or as loose. We'll just keep working with it. And then since this one went over, on this piece we'll do under first. We'll pick this one up to do under. Again, you can see super quick to get our weaving done. And this one I want to use the snowflakes. So here again I'll do under. And then pick this one up to do under. I like to kind of get it situated a bit. And then I turn it over. And that may destroy the weaving. It did. Okay. Regroup. It worked when I did it before. I'm sure you have a different way, huh, Dee?
No, I like that way.
Let's try this again. I like having that piece underneath it because then I'm able to turn it over. You could adhere this together too if you wanted to. Maybe on the side. And turn this one over. I'm going to bring it in really tight. I'll flip it over this time. Something's wrong.
That would
Okay. I'm still not right, am I?
That's good.
Okay, bring it tight together, and that should help when I flip it over. Because I want to add just a little bit of glue. And it's up to you if you want everything straight or if you want it at an angle. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Then I'm going to come in and put a little bit of glue in several different places. And this is just what works for me. Like I said, you may want to adhere it together as you're weaving it. And I don't put glue further down because sometimes I like to trim them off. And I'm just going to place this over and pick it up that way. And you still have time to adjust with your liquid glue if you need to.
That one's kind of bubbled up in there.
Oh, thanks. Making it way harder than it really is. Okay. Hopefully y'all are doing better than I am. Okay, now I think it's all down like I want it. Look okay.
Looks good.
And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to trim them. That's why I don't adhere all the way to the edge, because I kind of like the look of trimming them at an angle to where they look a little bit more random. And you can cut off as much or as little as you want. Just trim each one. Those little pieces out of the way. Trimming. And this last side. That one a little bit shorter. I might even orient this card to the side this time.
Judy may be onto something.
What's that?
That things are harder on video than they are.
Amen, sister. You know. I swear that worked perfectly when I was creating my original card. Let me give a little bit more of a haircut here. Yeah, with equipment up above you, it's a little bit different than just crafting, isn't it? Been doing Facebook Lives now for a couple years, so you would think I would be pretty comfortable with it. Okay, so now at this point, if you need to come back in and tack some of the edges down, that's fine. I really do think I may turn this. Of course, then my trees will be sideways. Does that matter? Leave it up and down? What would you do? That would bother some people.
Well, don't send it to Tara.
That would bother Tara, wouldn't it? You just go in and kind of repair here where you need a little bit more glue. I just love that. I think it looks super pretty. Get my trees right side up. Okay, now let's come back in and do our stamping. Beautiful thank you sentiment. And I need my gray ink. What's great about these rectangle dies is they do layer really well. So just stamping on the smaller one and going to layer it with a little bit larger one again using the Designer Series paper.
Teresa says she thinks the trees would be fine sideways.
Like a tornado came through or something. I think it's busy enough that it would be okay. I'll just glue this one down to our Designer Series paper. Now think about too, if you chose, depending on the paper that you used, even with this Designer Series paper, if you chose the one with the cabin and the wood grain, this would make a really pretty masculine birthday card.
Jan says she just glues the top of them and then starts the weaving.
Glues the top of them. I don't understand.
She puts glue along the top and then weaves as she goes down.
Look at you, Jan. That's a great idea. I like to make things complicated. I've never had any, not trouble like that before when I've done it. And then I'm going to pop that sentiment up. And get it situated where I want it. Kind of cover up the little gap that I have there. Does that look straight? Can you tell? Is it wonky?
It looks good though. Looks good.
It's crooked.
But it's okay.
Those all those different designs kind of fool the eye, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Okay, let's go ahead and add this to the card front. Is that Jan Santos?
Yes.
Jan Santos, I showed your Christmas card earlier on the first video. That was gorgeous. That looked like a lot of work with all those little squares. Really pretty. Okay. So there we go. There is our paper weaving. You'll have to let me know what you think. And any tips that you have, like Jan, as far as how to make that a little bit easier.
Mary White says she put the cinnamon on at an angle.
Ah, good idea.
There's a little bit of an angle on that one.
Yeah, not intentionally.
But that's the way I like it.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I really do think that would have looked pretty this way too. Either way. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in the cards that we worked on this morning. We should have all 5 of them here so that you can see all the different ways that we used our scraps today. And then we're going to do some mystery stamping right quick. So, oh, I had a stack. Thank you. Yeah, so that's what we worked on today. I did post a share thread. So if you would like to show us what you've been working on lately, if you did an alternative to something from stamp class, if you added some ribbons, some bling. Donna said she went rogue, so we'd love to see what you did to alter the cards for today. And then if this inspires you to create some other projects, we would love to see them. Let me move these out of the way and we will do some mystery stamping. So if you have your supplies ready, I'm going to show you the stamp set that I used for my mystery stamping card. This is called Artistically Inked, and I decided to use this thanks sentiment. So if you'll remember, You needed your card base, 2 pieces of basic white cardstock if you want to put a piece on the inside, depending on the color of cardstock that you use for your base. You need 3 strips of designer series paper, and I gave you some measurements, but if you just have 3 strips on hand, that's fine. Any ribbon or embellishments that you choose. Also your stamp set, and then either a punch or die cut that you can stamp your sentiment that will fit well for your sentiment. Okay, are they ready to go, Dee? Got some people doing mystery stamping with us.
I'm having trouble getting it to refresh.
Okay.
Jen wanna know, haven't gotten her machine fixed yet.
Oh no, he has not. He's looking for a screw for it. Jan's handle on her die cut machine came off, so he's looking for the right size screw.
Donovan's ready for
Okay. We will get going with mystery stamping. So the very first thing you want to do is fold your card on the score line, card base on the score line, and then adhere your inside panel to your card. And then just let us know when you've got clue number 1 done.
Teresa says she's going to use that pattern for thank you cards for her students who gave her Christmas gifts.
Oh, that's a great idea. Great idea. Yeah, we all have a lot of scraps. Hopefully throughout the year we have less scraps than we used to, because we are much better at using them up. But we still end up with those scraps, so.
Donna's done step 1.
Okay. So step 2 is going to be, your clue number 2 is going to be to adhere your strips of designer series paper. And whether you use different patterns or the same pattern, that's fine. But adhere those to your other piece of white cardstock that's going to be on the front of your card. But don't adhere it to the front of your card yet. Just add your strips of designer series paper. And it may just be Donna doing mystery stamping with us this morning, but that's okay. Just let us know, Donna, when you're done, okay? I think Becky intended to, but she may have gotten sidetracked with something else.
Maybe an animal or 2.
Maybe a chore or 2, right?
Right.
We'll wait just a minute as you adhere those strips of designer series paper to your other piece of white cardstock.
Mary says she's here.
Oh, great. Are you doing mystery stamping with us, Mary?
Doing mystery stamping.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Y'all just let us know when you finish with clue number 2. And it's a little bit hard. We've got a little bit of a lag from the video before we can see your comments, but just be patient with us, please.
Sherry wants you to repeat the first 2 clues.
Okay, the first clue is to fold your card base on the score line. And then if it's a darker color cardstock, you can adhere your inside panel. That was clue number 1. And clue number 2 is just to adhere your 3 strips of designer series paper to your white cardstock that will go on the front, but don't adhere it to the front of your card yet.
Okay, Judy's joined you as well.
Okay. Doing mystery stamping.
I'm ready to see the post.
You are? I know, this is my favorite part of mystery stamping, is just seeing all the different supplies that people use, and we all approach things differently. It's part of the fun.
Donna's done.
Donna's done? Okay. I'll wait just a minute for Mary or Sherry.
Mary says fine.
Okay.
Judy says done.
Okay, great. So at this point, if you choose to put ribbon, like for my card, I wrapped the ribbon around the whole piece of the white cardstock before I adhered it to the card. So if that's what you'd like to do at this point, add your ribbon, or just go ahead and adhere that white piece to the front of your card base. So that's clue number 3. If you want to add ribbon, now is the time, and then you'll adhere that to your card front. You may decide to use your ribbon differently, but if you want ribbon around it. And then adhere that to your card front. And just let us know when you finish with that step. If you want to add ribbon, now is the time. And then adhere that piece of white cardstock to the front of your card. And I have lost the cap to my glue again. Here it is. And just let us know when you're done with clue number 3. While you're working, I'll let you know that we have a new mini catalog coming soon. All these holiday products are retiring. So we do have a beautiful new mini catalog coming out for spring. It will go live to customers on the 4th of January. So my regular customers that have purchased in the last 6 months, you're already on my list. Dale gets a 2-week break from school, so of course I have quite the honey-do list for him, and getting catalogs ready to go out is one of them. Did you know that, Dee?
I did know that.
You did? But if you need a catalog, let me know. We'll get one to you. We love to provide those so you can get inspiration.
Mary and Kathy are done.
Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead and move on then. So we're to clue number 4. So with your die cut piece, go ahead and stamp your sentiment. Onto your die cut or punched piece. And then once you have done that, you can add that to your card front.
Do you use dimensionals to add it to the card front?
Of course, if you want to. There are no rules to mystery stamping.
Well, how do you know when you need to pop something up?
If you're in doubt, then you pop it up. That's my motto. It's been my motto for a really long time. When we first started making cards, LaDonna would always ask, should I pop it up? Yes. If in doubt, you pop it up. So stamping your sentiment. and then adding it to the front of your card. And just let us know when you finish that clue. I'm glad we have so many doing mystery stamping with us. This is fun. Just let us know when you have your sentiment added to your card front. What else do we have? We're going to do our catalog launch party, our new catalog launch party, a little bit later in January than we normally do. It'll be the 22nd. And I already have a couple of guest presenters for that day. It's going to be really fun. It'll be here in this group. We'll do some Facebook Live videos. We'll have lots of samples to show you. We usually do a catalog walkthrough and then meet the suite for a couple of suites. So it'll be lots of fun. I will have a make and take packet for that too, so be sure to let me know if you would like that. It's a free make and take packet, but you do have to RSVP.
Donna, Mary, and Kathy are done.
Okay, great. And celebration starts January and February again. Okay, we have our sentiment on. So the last thing we need to do is, if you would like to add embellishments, now would be the time. Totally up to you if you want to add some bling, but why wouldn't you? Right?
I can't come up with a reason.
Can't come up with a reason. And oh my goodness, y'all, there are iridescent rhinestones in the new mini catalog. And let me just say, they are fabulous. If shiny is your favorite color like me, you're going to love them. They are so pretty. There's 3 sizes. And they are sparkly.
I think they're going to see some.
You think they're going to see some? Yes. Yes. I may have to order a couple extra packages to be prizes because they are amazing. I already have a favorite embellishment from the new catalog. We're working on swaps. So with the new catalog also comes working on swap cards. I'm involved in a group, the Trip Achievers group, with Stampin' Up, and there's a lady that always organizes a fabulous swap, and so I'm doing 2 mini catalog projects and 2 celebration projects. So that means, how many cards will I get back? 45?
40.
40?
No.
Yeah, 45.
No, 15 is 60.
Oh, yes. I'm not good at math. 60. I'll have 60 cards that I'll get back. So we're making that many, but we'll make 4 different designs. 15 of each. Yeah, that's 60. So I'll have so many different projects to share with you. Really, really excited about this new catalog and celebration. That's what we've been up to. So we've been using lots of iridescent rhinestones. Okay, everybody got their bling on their card?
Judy and Sherry have.
Okay. The big reveal. Let me move the stamp set. So you probably realize that the card that I showed you in the very first video, this is what inspired the mystery stamping supplies. So I love the way, this was a swap card that I received from another demonstrator. I love the way she used those strips on this card, but this is my mystery stamping card. I thought it would be a fun Christmas thank you card. So I tried to use a lot of the papers and supplies to do something other than Christmas, but this one turned out very Christmassy. So this is my mystery stamping card, and I cannot wait to see y'all's. This is one of my favorite parts of mystery stamping, is seeing what you did with the supplies. So be sure to hop over to the share thread and post a picture of your project. Always feel free to post in this group if you've been working on something, and it doesn't have to necessarily be Stampin' Up. We just want to inspire each other. We get inspiration from all different places. So I love to see the different creations that you do. So whether it's paper crafting, I know Judy's been quilting. Sherry Berry showed us a really cute snowman that she and her husband have been working on that's out of wood. So anything that you would like to share, you're always welcome to. This is your group. So Dale and Oliver and I wish you a very Merry Christmas. We thank you for joining us, and we will be back next year, 2022. Cannot believe we're saying that. What?
You have a Facebook Live on.
Oh, the 29th. Yes, I'm going to take next week off. I do a weekly Facebook Live on my business page. Next week we're going to take off, spend time with family, but we'll be back the 29th. That is true. On Stamp with CT business page, we'll do that, and I'll be showing a little sneak peek. You'll see those iridescent rhinestones for sure on that Facebook Live. But other than that, we're going to take a little bit of time off. So
Mary says Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. And if you have any questions, let us know. But other than that, hope you have a wonderful holiday and get to spend some time with family and friends. Thanks so much.